We all know that Sri Lanka is in a very difficult economic situation. So the question is, how do we get back from here? I believe there are three key elements to the path forward. The first is restoring confidence in the system by correcting current imbalances and reducing the vulnerability of the financial system to further shocks. The second stage is removing the emergency supports and restrictions. And then thirdly, implementing market-based reforms that can give new engines to the Sri Lankan economy to put it back on a sustainable growth path. Getting the public finances back on a sustainable footing, I think, is the most important thing to do to restore confidence. That's the most important thing. And the key element of that is reforming the tax system. I think everyone knows the tax system has been allowed to erode over time, and it really needs to be rebuilt. It needs a broad tax base with no exemptions. It should be one rule for all. And the broader you can make the tax base, then you don't have to have very high tax rates. So the key is to have uniform treatment in the tax system. And as we all know, the direct taxes in Sri Lanka in particular need to be restructured and reshaped because there's too much reliance at present on indirect taxes.
Now
the IMF says that we should restructure our debt. Some countries that faced calamity actually did restructure their debt according to the IMF's recommendations. How? Because they did not have any international sovereign bonds. We can't even determine who the owners of the international sovereign bonds are. It's clear that they understand that international sovereign bonds cannot be restructured. No country that has taken a high amount of international sovereign bond loans have been able to restructure their debts. The IMF knows this. Despite knowing this, they dangle a 2.9 billion carrot in front of us. The government keeps on hoping that this carrot will soon fall into their mouth, so they keep their mouths open. But ultimately, what will happen? We are heading on the same path as Argentina. Argentina also went bankrupt for the first time in 1980s. They were unable to pay their loans. The crisis continues today. It is very clear to us that this country is also being dragged along the very same path.